Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. My name is Adam Riancho, and today is Monday, July 22nd, 4:20 p.m. It's time for another live stream. Let's go. Can you believe it? I have a new haircut. It's a whole new me. Not really. It's just me with less hair. That's all. Anyways, things are going well. I'm in a bit of a mood. I don't know. I have some energy flowing at the moment. I think it's a perfect time for a draft, and we are going to hop in just a sec. If you don't know what we're doing, we're on Underdog. It's a best ball format where you draft a team. There is no waiver wire. There are no trades. Everybody you have is instantly slotted into the lineup in terms of best players available on a weekly basis. You never have to touch it, and you hop into tournaments, you hop into 12-team leagues or whatever, and you have the chance to win money. But you got to put real money down. These are real leagues, and we will be entering a fast puppy today. A 20-second clock with $1 million in prizes. If we win it, we take home $200K. The rest is something you can look up yourself. But we will hop in. We're on a 6-second delay. If you want to join me, you can hit the button right now, and I will join you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please do not limit me on my location. We are all set. There are 4 spots left. We will be underway very, very shortly. Get your coconut water. This time I got it from Sprouts, not from Aldi. And it is the elite tier beverage for hydration. My beverage of choice for streaming. Not sponsored. It's just my personal preference. But there's 1 spot left if you want to join me. It is now taken. The lobby is full. We will be underway very, very soon. What pick do we have? We have pick 9. Pick numero 9. Could be worse, could be better. Not my favorite, but not going to complain. I feel confident in my abilities to get it done and figure it out. But I don't have any nails. I cannot open this without a tool. There it is. The sound of a can opening. Let's take a swig, everyone. If you have some, join me. Drink it if you got it. Very refreshing. Just a perfect beverage, in my view. But anyways, got good energy today. Feeling it, everyone. Feeling it. I think this is the day we win this tournament. At pick 9 would be impressive to do it at that slot. But CMC goes pick 1. CeeDee Lamb at 2. We are off to an excellent start. But if you are new to the channel, if you're enjoying, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, ring the notification bell, and if you ever want to draft with me in the future, you will know instantly when I go live. You'll have an opportunity to do so. And wow, Bijan goes number 3. Very interesting. We have a chance to get St. Brown. Nah, that's probably not going to happen. It probably doesn't affect us. At pick 9, that is where there's a big tier break. Bijan has a higher ADP than pick 9 anyways. But Jefferson's still on the board. Team 7 gonna have a chance for a elite receiver. And they go A.J. Brown. Holy shit. Holy shit. Team 8 has to go. No, they go Jefferson. It's okay. But Breece Hall is still really good, and you can absolutely make things work with an elite running back. We will be taking Breece Hall at pick 9, and it will all work out in the end. But maybe, just maybe, we go with another double elite running back build. I might take another one in the next 2 rounds, but receiver does fall off quickly, and I don't want to get behind the 8 ball at that position. In this format where you have to start 3 every week, that is the key to underdog. You need to take good value at running back, tight end, and quarterback wherever you can. But for the most part, you cannot forget about receiver. You have to get back to that position. Otherwise, you are not competitive enough in this setting. But very happy with Breece Hall at pick 9. He's my RB2. And if Christian McCaffrey were to get hurt this year, Breece would be the number 1 guy, in my view. Breece is a player I've loved since he entered the league. I was a little worried about him as a rookie because he went on the Jets, and then he proved me wrong. He was excellent, but then he tore his ACL. That was the only reason I was right not to draft Breece Hall. So all in all, I was wrong on him in his rookie season. I was very high on him from a talent perspective, but last year I was all about him. I was not worried about his recovery timeline. I was drafting him like crazy in round 3, and it did pay off. He was fantastic, especially at the end of the season. But he should be even better this year with better quarterback play, and I'm very happy to take him wherever I can. But normally I do not grab Olave, but I'm going to reinvigorate the nickname I gave Chris Olave when he entered the league. Suave Olave is going to be our pick here. Suavemente. Let's go. Breece Hall and Chris Suave Olave. Not like in love with Chris Olave, but from a floor standpoint, he's going to be very, very valuable. He should see at least 150 targets this year. There's nobody else in this offense that can compete with him. It's Shaheed, it's Juwan Johnson, who's dealing with a foot injury. It's Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara. Olave's their guy. And in year 2 with Derek Carr, I think the connection, I think the chemistry will be improved. There were some moments last season where Carr was not connecting with Olave, especially down the field. They had a lot of turmoil. There was that quintessential clip of Derek Carr screaming at him down the sideline when they did not connect on like a 3rd and long. And I don't think we're going to see as many of those clips this season. But see, indeed, Suave Olave is very smooth. They were giving him that, oh, I need to update the chat. I clicked the button, but it's not showing up on the screen. I see you, Dev, in the comments. Is it there? There it is. Suave Olave. My boy, Rico Suave. I thought that was kind of weird. Like whenever, if you rewind to like the combine when people were talking about Olave, everyone was calling him like, his nickname was Mr. Smooth. Like that's a really weird way to put it. Like there's no Riz with Mr. Smooth. Like it reminds me of like Mr. Clean, you know? Like there's nothing really fun about Mr. Smooth. But when you watch him play, he is very smooth. But his last name is Olave. He is Hispanic. Perfect rhyming opportunity. Suave Olave. Perfect nickname. And I am Hispanic myself. If you did not know that, I am half Mexican. My father was born in Mérida, Yucatan, in Mexico. Not far from Cancun. Those of you who are unfamiliar with Mérida, it's in the Mayan region of the state. Of the country, I should say. And he is smooth as fuck. He is a smooth operator. Suave Olave on our team. But this is a part of the draft I don't love. All of these receivers are in the same tier, and I'm not hyped on them. I'm just going to shoot for upside. I'm going to go George Pickens. Let's take Pickens. I have Flowers ranked above Pickens, but I view him as more of a floor play, whereas Pickens I think is really good in the best ball setting because Pickens either gives you like 100+ yards and a touchdown or like 50, 60 yards and no score. So for the sake of the spike week, I'm going to take him here. Again, I see him in the same tier as all these other players, but I'm just hoping for these big games to repeat, like 4 for 127 and a touchdown, 6 for 130 and a touchdown, 5 for 107, 4 for 86, 4 for 195 and 2 touchdowns, 7 for 131. That's what I want in best ball. I want the big fucking game. I want the opportunity at 30 points in my lineup, because if he only gives me like 6, I'm going to have other pieces on my bench that offer me that potential. I'm going to have other players that outscore him. But when he goes off, he can be a top 5 receiver any given week. He can really be a league winner. I think if this was like a weekly winners draft, I would really love George Pickens' value for sure. And I already have a floor play in Chris Olave. Olave is the volume guy. Olave is going to give me consistent production. Pickens is that swing for the fence. So I think that's a better complement for my roster, having one super safe guy in Olave and one swing for the fence option that, might not make my lineup all of the time, but when he does, probably cracks 20 plus fantasy points pretty often. So that's my opinion. That's my strategy. And I have George Pickens as my wide receiver 24 this year. I have Flowers at wide receiver 23. So I don't see a big gap between the two. We could go Pittman. He has fallen in this draft, but I actually have T. Higgins ranked higher as well. And there's actually while there is an argument where to say that I should be taking Michael Pittman here because he falls 6-7 spots. I think his ADP was 33. There's another argument that in order to be more unique from a build standpoint, if I'm going to reach on Pickens, I should take another receiver going in round 4, because there's going to be a lot fewer teams with the combination of Pickens and T. Higgins, because Pickens has an ADP of pick 40, T. Higgins 41 or 42, something like that. And if you recall, Michael Pittman was, I think, second in the ADP when we were on the clock at 33. So there are going to be a lot of teams that have the combination of Michael Pittman, George Pickens. They're just going to take it in the reverse order. So just because Michael Pittman falls to me at pick 40, because I reached on Pickens, I'm actually not doing myself any favors by going with a unique standpoint with Pickens in round 3 when I take Michael Pittman round 4. It's just taking them in the reverse order. So that would negate any of the strategy that I take when I reach on Pickens a few picks. But I have them all in the same tier. They're all equal value. If you want to go with Pittman over Pickens, be my guest. You do you. I'm just doing me. But Dev also hates that range of receiver. I just grabbed quarterback there now. I like Pickens, though, and Cooper. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It kind of sucks because whoever you're taking once Cooper Kupp is off the board, some people like Malik Neighbors. I do not. I like Tank Dell the most. But once you're past Cooper Kupp, everyone from DJ Moore, Malik Neighbors, all the way through T. Higgins, at least in ADP, I view all in the same tier. So whoever you're getting in round 3 is just the same for your lineup as a receiver going to take in round 4. And if that's how I feel about it, why not just grab 2 of those round 4 receivers instead of a round 3, round 4 guy? That is my unique approach for the position. But quarterback is definitely a value here. You're never really going to go wrong with Josh Allen. You can't really go wrong with Jalen Hurts either. But we took Breece Hall in the first, and now I have 3 receivers I have ranked inside my top 25. I think we're in better shape in that regard. Receiver hits a big tier break once you get to Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is the same for the weekly value, in my eyes, as a lot of receivers going in round 6. So I think Christian Kirk is way overpriced. I think once you're deciding on Christian Kirk or a quarterback, tight end, or running back like ETN, Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, you should not take Christian Kirk. I would have taken Richardson if available, but he is not. And we do have a running back already, so I don't think I need to grab one here. 4 seconds on the clock. I am going to go with Xavier Worthy. They connected on that deep touchdown in practice yesterday. And from a ceiling standpoint, I think Worthy has tremendous upside. Could be a league winner if he is actually the wide receiver 1 in Kansas City. And maybe we can pair him up here with Rashee Rice. I think if I can have both of them, I'd be pretty comfortable. But again, kind of in the same logic as Pickens, I see all the receivers in the same tier at this point. I am fine reaching on one that usually goes in round 6, a little bit higher than ADP. It's all a wash at this point. So let's mix it up. Haven't taken Worthy on this live stream in quite some time, but I actually feel like that's not indicative of how I view Worthy. I'm actually highly exposed to Xavier Worthy. I have him at like at least 11%. I want to say 12 or 13% overall through like 230 drafts so far this season. I have a lot of Xavier Worthy. But passing on running back might have been the move because James Cook possibly comes back around to us if he's not sniped here. I could talk myself into James Cook. This team goes Rachaad White. It's not insane, but I think I'm going to go with Rashee Rice. One reason I'm going to do so is for the correlation of stacking options in the same matchup week 17. This is the week 17 schedule here on the board, as you can see right here, week 17. And the first game of the week on Wednesday, December 25th, Christmas Day, is the Chiefs at Pittsburgh. So George Pickens will be facing off against Kansas City. And if that game is a shootout, then I have 3 weapons in the same team. And I am hoping that that pays me some dividends in this tournament. All the money is in week 17. I mean, you can make some money before week 17, but if you're really trying to maximize your payout here, we're looking for spike weeks at the end of the season, and correlating that week 17 matchup is one of the ways to do it. So I go George Pickens in round 3, and I take 2 Chiefs receivers in the same game for that week 17 upside. We're going with Worthy and Rashee Rice. Casuals are back and stacking 3 early QBs like crazy. Start going with the real late quarterback stack. Right. It's almost August. There's going to be a lot more casual people in these lobbies, as you mentioned. But there's still value in those early quarterbacks. Like Mahomes round 5, that still feels like such a good investment. You know what I mean? Like that feels so safe. But I do kind of like that CJ Stroud has now fallen to round 7 super consistently. His ADP continues to plummet, and he consistently goes off the board in round 7 now. I think that's a very good price. But we are through 6 rounds, and we have 5 receivers. So that position is doing well. Definitely a lot of upside, good usage there. We've opened ourselves up for a Joe Burrow stack potentially with T. Higgins here. We could also go with Aaron Rodgers later on. We have Breece Hall, so maybe Mike Williams is someone to target. But Derek Carr, Russell Wilson also in the running. Mahomes is off the board. So we will not be stacking Worthy or Rashee Rice. We just stack them together on the same roster. But the team with Mahomes takes CJ Stroud as well. Unstacked Stroud, not a fan. I think Stroud needs the stack. I know it's a good value based on ADP, but he goes in round 7 a lot. It's not that unique anymore to get Stroud. And you already have an elite QB. I'm not in love with Team 3's approach. They reached on Bijan. Ayuk seems like he's staying in San Francisco. According to the Niners, they will not be trading him. I like the Metcalf, Andrews, Mahomes selection. But this round 7 Stroud, I think, may have been Maybe the wrong decision. Possibly. But I have a lot of running backs in the same tier. Meanwhile, I have Jake Ferguson in a tier of his own. And I do not have a Cardinal to stack with Kyler. I'm going to go Jake Ferguson. Would have loved if Ingram fell to me, but 2 picks too soon for that to happen. We do not get Evan Ingram. And while sometimes I see Ferguson go off the board in round 8, I think it's all kind of the same. I'm going to be perfectly happy with whoever I get at running back in the next round. Maybe I go Kyler. Who do they play in week 17? I think they get the Rams. Yeah, Arizona at Los Angeles. So he does not correlate with any of our options. Who do the Bengals get? The Bengals get Denver at home. So Courtland Sutton is kind of the only qualifier there, but I'm not going to reach on Courtland Sutton. I could go with another Steeler for that Chiefs-Steelers game. And if Najee falls to pick 88, I'll probably take him. Arthur Smith should use the running back position a lot. There's not many weapons in Pittsburgh. This team goes Zamir White. But I could also go James Conner. I could also go Jaylen Warren. James Conner gets taken. I will just take the best ADP value here. 5 picks past ADP. I will go with Najee Harris. I do have him ranked above Jaylen Warren. And I think he's a safer floor play. Given how long we waited for RB2, I'm comfortable with Najee as my RB2 here. So this is the squad. We took Breece Hall at pick 9, followed by Chris Suave Olave, George Pickens at 33, followed by T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice. We have a pretty good receiving core. Tight end is Jake Ferguson. RB2 is Najee Harris. But we don't have a quarterback yet. We're waiting on that position. Team 6 goes with Jordan Love stacked with Jaden Reed. And Team 5, who has Jamar Chase, goes Joe Burrow. Yeah, round 7, I am not really comfortable with Najee, but once he falls to round 8, they're all in the same tier. I'm comfortable with him there. As long as it's at a value, I'm fine taking him. Once I got him at like pick 99. Once he fell to me in round 9, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll take Najee there. Very comfortable with that price on Harris. But when I don't feel confident that I can get Ferguson coming back around, and then I'm going to have to pray that nobody snipes me on Njoku in the 9th round, I'd rather just lock up a tight end I feel really confident in. Really safe with when it comes to Jake Ferguson, pick 81. And then we still get Najee. I think Najee was the highest ADP available. Oh, no, it was Ramondre Stevenson. It was Stevenson, then Najee when we were on the clock when we took Ferguson. But we get Najee 88. And that's a good value. But Dak just comes off the board. After our Najee selection, we see Zach Moss. Zach Moss, another guy I really like in round 8. Really like investing in the Bengals backfield, and my option of choice is by far and away Zach Moss. Really like him this year. Followed by Jonathan Brooks, Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, DeAndre Swift, Jaylen Warren, Raheem Mostert, Courtland Sutton, Tony Pollard, Dak Prescott, Brock Bowers, Josh Palmer. I think if there's one running back in round 8 that probably doesn't work out, like, let's just isolate round 8 in this draft here. There were 8 running backs that went off the board. I think the one that is least valuable would be DeAndre Swift. I think he should see more receptions than Zamir White. That's why I think I have him ranked one spot above Zamir White in my rankings. But I think if there's one that offers the most bust potential, it's DeAndre Swift, because there's still a committee that's viable behind him that's going to eat into his volume. And he's also injury prone over the course of his career. I think Swift scares me a lot. But we have an opportunity to double up on tight end here. And if Njoku is my backup with Ferguson as the starter, I feel really safe knowing that I am done at the position and I don't have to draft another one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draft David Njoku. He is also in the thumbnail, so we're going to get a little extra bonus good luck with that investment. I got 5 receivers. I feel confident. I don't think I have to do that. My running backs has a stud among the two with Breece Hall. So I am comfortable passing on Brian Robinson. I have a ton of Brian Robinson, and he's really the only other person I would like really consider in this round for this team. So maybe he comes back to me. He does not. He goes pick 107, and I don't hate it. I'm not upset with it. I have 2 top 10 tight ends, and now I don't have to worry about the position at all moving forward. I think this is looking like a 3 quarterback build. And I don't like to take 3 tight ends when I have to take 3 quarterbacks. So now I'm done with tight end. I've got 2 I can compete with. High floor with Ferguson. High spike week potential with Njoku. Njoku was not as good with Deshaun Watson as he was with any other quarterback. He was elite with Flacco, but even with PJ Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he was better in fantasy with Deshaun Watson. That's the only concern I have for Njoku this season. His stats with Watson are not that impressive, but as my tight end 2, there's a lot of that risk taken out of the equation, and I have one of the more competitive tight end rooms in this lobby. The only other one that has a better one would be Team 3 with Andrews and Brock Bowers. But now we're on the clock, and running back is a little bit dicey here, but I think that's the position I need the most. And while I do love the potential of Trey Benson, I think Ezekiel Elliott should be drafted in a full round higher than where his ADP has him going. And I think if he does actually maintain that like RB1 role in Dallas, this is a perfectly justified ADP. I do think Zeke is going to be moving up the board quickly over the next 5 weeks as training camp reports come in and he profiles as the guy in Dallas. So I think he's better than Javonte. Benson needs James Conner to go down to work out. And I think I need someone that's actually going to play in my lineup early on because I only have 2 with Breece Hall and Najee Harris. There's league-winning potential with Benson, but you can say the same about Zeke, and now I have them all in kind of the same tier. Benson is more of a handcuff. Zeke is more of a starter. I'll take Zeke. I noticed you, Dev, reach on Zeke in one of the last live streams when we were in the same lobby together, and I kind of liked your decision, man. Especially, I can possibly get Rico Dowdle in round 12 at 136. And while like the price is a little bit expensive here, it's just accounting for that potential if James Conner gets hurt later in the season. Benson should be more valuable in December, and that's where, the payouts correlate in the tournament. So Benson's a little bit overpriced, but not like crazy. I view him, I literally have him one spot in my rankings behind Javonte Williams. So if you're going to take Javonte, pick 116, I think you can absolutely justify a Trey Benson selection. But I have Zeke ranked above both of them. I will be putting out my top 40 running back rankings tomorrow. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that. And I'll be editing that later tonight. I've already recorded it. So excited for that. And Zeke, I think, is a good value here. Another thing, Dev, you mentioned last time around, or one of these last live streams, how you drafted with me before the NFL draft back in like March. And I found that league. I found the team where we drafted in the same squad. And despite the fact that I did take Rashee Rice at pick 25 at the 2-3 turn, I also got Zeke and Jalen Polk with 2 of the last picks in that draft. I got Jalen Polk at pick like 190, and then I got Zeke at pick 205. It was like super, super good values on those two players that did not have a team yet at that point in time. So here we are back on the clock. We still don't have a quarterback, and that's not great. But I think I'm just going to shore up running back and go with Jerome Ford, another guy I have highly ranked. And now I feel really comfortable with my running back room. I feel very safe with it. And I only need like one more the rest of the draft. But yeah, you saw Zeke in the 200s. That was a very good pick. Zeke and Rico is my favorite stack right now. I understand. I think I just prefer to just take a bet on one rather than take both, because either both are like used weekly and it's a 50-50 split, and now neither is like super great. It's just like, who do you get scoring a touchdown on a weekly basis? In Mike McCarthy's offense, I don't think there's like a ton of touchdowns to be had. Pollard only scored 6 last year, and in Green Bay, there was never really a productive running back to think of. So it wasn't like the best spot to be in. But I'm more in the camp of like, I just want to pick one. Most of the time, I just want one. Sometimes I'll take both, but not today. You picked him once in that range. Yeah, he was going undrafted a lot, and that was an unwise decision. But I'm either going to go with Herbert here at QB, someone who might be undervalued. I could also go Jalen Polk. I have moved off of receiver for a long time. It's between Herbert and Polk. I don't have any Chargers. I can't quite justify it. I'm going to go with Jalen Polk. I'm going to add another rookie receiver to this team, mainly because I think I can still get quarterbacks in the same tier in the next round. Like if Stafford is still available to me at pick 153, I think it's pretty identical to the fantasy value you're going to get from Justin Herbert this season. Potentially more. I think the Rams offense is going to look a little bit better for fantasy than the Chargers offense will, but I don't have either of them stacked up. So if I leave Herbert on the board, that's another quarterback for this pool of players to choose from, and it's more likely that I do get Stafford to fall back to me, and I'll still be fine. Whereas the receivers that'll come back to me, holy shit, the receivers scare the fuck out of me. Like, we're hoping for the best with Darnell Mooney. I think he will outperform this ADP of wide receiver 68, but not like by a wide margin. I think he'll maybe crack the 50s. Maybe in the best case scenario, he finishes as like wide receiver 47 or something, which would definitely be great for this ADP, but it's not like insane. And other than that, like, I'm just hoping on these rookies to work out. Burton with T. Higgins back at camp maybe isn't as good. Pearsall is injured, needs Ayuk to be traded to really work out. Demario Douglas never scores touchdowns. Polk will be overtaking him. I think I made the right choice. But let's take a look at the board. We've got 6 picks before ours, and we're hoping that we do not get sniped on Stafford. But most of these teams have 2 quarterbacks already. The only one that doesn't would be Joe Burrow, Team 5. Team 4 that took Herbert has 2 quarterbacks now. Team 6 has 2 quarterbacks in Love and Goff. Team 7 has Hurts and Jaden Daniels. And Team 8 has Anthony Richardson, Caleb Williams. So unless we see a Stafford pick right now at 149, I think I will get him at 153. And he goes Burton to pair up with Joe Burrow. So I think it's going to work out. I think I'm going to get who I want. I think I'm going to be fine. But Stafford, again, does not correlate with my team. It's just he's my highest ranked quarterback the rest of the way. Meanwhile, Rodgers correlates with Breece Hall. You know Breece Hall's going to catch a lot of receptions. And Deshaun Watson correlates with David Njoku. Maybe I pass on Stafford. Because Mooney is here. And I don't see any receivers that I like as much as Mooney. I'm going to take Mooney. I'm going to say fuck it. Every team here only has one quarterback, so I might get fucking burned. But I know I'm taking 3. And at this point, let's gamble. So this is looking like a 3-5-8-2 build. We'll be taking 3 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 1 more receiver, no more tight ends. We are strictly QB, running back, wide receiver the rest of the way. But Dev says I actually prefer Rico. He's diet Jahmyr Gibbs. He just needs to stay healthy. I mean, I think it's worth investing in both. And yeah, there's definitely a scenario where Rico is actually the guy you want. But ooh, oh shit, I fucked up. All 3 come off the board. Damn it. Yeah, I got greedy. Didn't work out. The team at 12 goes with double QBs, Tua, Aaron Rodgers, and Deshaun Watson. And they have Amari Cooper, so I probably should have looked at that. Fuck. Damn it. Maybe I just punt the position now. That's probably way too fucking risky. I'm going to go Geno Smith. Shit. Definitely prefer Stafford over Geno Smith. And Geno's unstacked here, so I fucked up. Definitely fucked up. That's all right. I think I'm looking at Derek Carr and Russell Wilson with 2 of my next 4 picks. That sucks. But Jerome Ford, also a great pick, such value. Yeah, definitely a good viable option. He goes after Zach Charbonnet, after Blake Corum, after Chase Brown, Javonte, and Trey Benson. I have Jerome Ford as a top 30 running back this season. He goes back-to-back with Nick Chubb. The only reason I think that's the case is because he offers more value at the beginning of the season rather than the end of the season. Definitely will see more competition from Nick Chubb at the end of the year. But in the event where Chubb is never the same player, if Chubb never gets back to full strength, I mean, I don't expect him to. I think best case scenario, he's seeing like 55% of the touches when healthy, and that's going to be after the Week 10 bye. I don't think Chubb offers much value before their Week 10 bye in Cleveland. So Jerome Ford going to be the guy the first 2 months of the year. Maybe Week 8, Nick Chubb gets back on the field and they very slowly mix him in. Then they get a Week 10 bye, and then starting in Week 11, he's more of the backup with like a legitimate 50-50 touch split. But if that doesn't happen, if that's an optimistic projection for Nick Chubb, then Jerome Ford's going to maintain that usage all year long. Jerome Ford will be a tremendous option all the way through the end of the season. But Dev says, I don't see Chubb coming back and doing anything significant. Yeah, I understand. There's a lot of reasons to be pessimistic with Nick Chubb. But I don't want to count him out completely. I think where he's going now, he's been starting to rise after that squat video. But when you could get him at pick 150, like, holy shit. I think that's definitely worth the price. Because otherwise, you're looking at other handcuff running backs like, you know, Marshawn Lloyd in a best case scenario. But I think we can maybe swing for the fence with our running back selection and go with either Elijah Mitchell, J.K. Dobbins. I don't think we need like tremendous contributions from this running back pick. So I'm going to go Elijah Mitchell here. If reports are true and Mitchell is indeed the RB2 in San Francisco, then he should be going way higher. Last year he was going around like pick 120. So Elijah Mitchell at 177 is definitely a value. If Christian McCaffrey goes down, there's league-winning potential in San Francisco. I do worry about Isaac Guerendo a lot, but according to Kyle Shanahan, Guerendo is not up to speed in terms of pass protection. He's still very much getting used to the offense. It's very early in the year. I mean, training camp either hasn't started yet or is literally starting like today, yesterday, tomorrow. There's definitely opportunity for Guerendo to improve. But at least at the moment, Mitchell should be going above him. And I'm still underweight on Elijah Mitchell, whereas I'm very overweight on Guerendo. Guerendo, I still have it like 24% these days. I took him like crazy when the draft, right after the draft, the NFL draft. And I went a little overboard. I had him at like almost 40%, and then I've completely cooled it just to get him back to baseline. I don't want to be more than like 20% on Guerendo when it's all said and done. But there's definitely a way that Mitchell is not the guy, and that would be because of Isaac Guerendo. Anyways, we are definitely in line for a quarterback and receiver. So I'll just queue up Derek Carr in case I time out. But those are the only two positions. We're looking at QB, wide receiver, and nobody really correlates with my team. So I'm just going to go with Derek Carr here. I know I want him on this roster because I have Chris Olave. And he gets a new offensive coordinator. Maybe he's better this season. Maybe he's fine. But from a floor standpoint, he was actually somewhat solid. There were plenty of games where he offered you like 16 plus points. He comes off the field for Taysom Hill a lot in the red zone. That's annoying as fuck. But we have Olave. It correlates. And quarterback is definitely not the impressive aspect of this roster. I should have just taken Matthew Stafford. But we're definitely in need of 3 QBs on this team, and Carr is one of them. So that's the team so far. We have Geno Smith unstacked. Not happy about it, but I fucked up. Derek Carr stacked up with Olave. At running back, I got Breece Hall, Najee Harris, Ezekiel Elliott, Jerome Ford, Elijah Mitchell. We're done at that position. Wide receiver, I have Chris Olave, George Pickens, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Jalen Polk, and Darnell Mooney. I feel really good about my wide receiving core, despite not grabbing one in the first round. I think that's very good depth. And then at tight end, we have 2 top 10 options in Jake Ferguson, David Njoku. Quarterback's the only problem with this roster, but it's definitely a position you can wait on and still get really good value. Like Geno should still put up plenty of games where he's solid, and Derek Carr will be a fine floor play. I'm not like worried I'm going to get like some 8-point weeks with the combo of Geno Smith, Derek Carr, and very likely Russell Wilson as well. But Reflect the Sun says Geno should improve this year with grubs, shotgun, and deep shots, which he excels at. I hope so. I sure hope so. Definitely better OC with Grubb over Waldron. I'm not a big Waldron fan. That's one reason why I'm starting to temper expectations on the Bears a little bit. I don't love the coaching situation, and Waldron is not my favorite guy that they could have brought in. Like, if you told me that the Bears brought in Ryan Grubb instead, I think the Bears would be looking amazing right now. But Waldron scares me a little bit. But I see people reaching for him like he's 100% coming back. At like 30 pick reaches. Oh, so you're talking about Nick Chubb? I'm a bit late on this comment. Reflect the Sun. In 2022, Geno was a 92 PFF rated quarterback for passes over 20 yards. He was top dog in that stat, and Grubb loves to throw it down the field. But I am on the clock. And we know we need Russell Wilson, so I'll cue him up. I could go Tyler Boyd, but at this point, it's all kind of a wash. Just give me Russell Wilson. Just call it. Just put me out of my misery. I have George Pickens. I have Najee Harris. So, yeah, I don't like it either. But at least at the moment, reports are saying it's very unlikely that Justin Fields steals the job. So, just gonna take my medicine, gonna eat my vegetables, and correlate with the stack. I'm not happy about it, but I waited so long on quarterback. I need 3 of them, and it is what it is. I'm not excited about this quarterback room at all. Not at all. But maybe I take Drake May. Maybe this is a 4 quarterback build. We have Jalen Polk. Are there any receivers I want? Fuck. It's so gross at this point. I kind of think KJ Osborne is a little undervalued, goes undrafted a lot. And some reports say he might actually be one of the starting receivers. Definitely prefer him over Javon Baker. Yeah, I'm just going to go with my 8th receiver. I'm going to take KJ Osborne. Fuck it. It's gross, but it is what it is. So this is our team. We had pick 9. We went Breece Hall, Chris Olave, George Pickens, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Jake Ferguson, Najee Harris, David Njoku, Ezekiel Elliott, Jerome Ford, Jalen Polk, Darnell Mooney, Geno Smith, Elijah Mitchell, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson, KJ Osborne. So big mistake was taking Darnell Mooney and not just grabbing Matthew Stafford. That was a terrible decision. We could have probably stacked him up with Demarcus Robinson, pick 160, had we not grabbed Mooney. And that was the big mistake of this draft. Big mistake indeed. But it feels like maybe a time for a second draft. Actually, no. Actually, I have got some editing to do. And as fun as it was, I think I'm going to call it done for this live stream. But oh well, can't win them all. You never know. I think this team is still competitive. I think I still have a chance. Just not a great one. Could be better. But that's going to be it for this live stream. If you enjoyed, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel as well. And it's been fun. I will see you again on Wednesday on the live. I will also be posting a video tomorrow with some running back rankings for you. The top 40, RBs 31 through 40, all the handcuffs that are best this season. And that's going to be it for me. But thank you all. Hope you have a good evening and a good rest of your week. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.